How you doing?
I'm all right. You sound like you're from California. You don't sound like you're from Wisconsin.
Well, it's probably watched too much TV.
Yeah, that's what it is. In Maryland, we talk like we're on TV too. It's the same kind of thing, except I find that I say y'all more at clinics than I should, and I go, oh, in the South.
Ah, yeah.
So I asked Doug Sewell, the son of the Baptist preacher from Dallas, Texas, what's the most Texan thing you can say? And he goes, hellfire, you say.
Hellfire,
you say.
Well, in Wisconsin, we say weird things like, come here once.
Come here once?
Come here once.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. But it's like, I want you to come here, but apparently only one time. But it's all the time.
Play guitar.
Hey, come here once.
Guitar. Well, it sounds good.
This guitar sounds magnifico.
You just tried to do harmonics with the bass pickup. You got to put the middle pickup on when you do that. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, I can't do that on there, though.
Well, you did it. I heard it. He did it. Oh, it's still in tune. Oh, my God.
Nicely done.
Nicely done. All right, so
Well, why does it sound so damn good?
you want the truth? You want me to be sarcastic?
No, I want the truth. Why is it, it's got the glass, but it's got meat? That bridge pickup sounds
it's-
delicious.
Well, the bridge pickup and the bass pickup are the same pickup.
Ah.
So let me explain. So, if you want to buy a 1963 Strat pickup, and you go on eBay and you find one that's not broke, it's $900, right?
Yep.
If you buy all the parts, you buy the wire and you buy the magnets and the fiberboard and all that stuff, and you wind it up just exactly the way everybody says you do it, it don't sound the same. God, it took a long time to figure out why. That sounds like an old guitar.
Yeah, it does.
All right, so, but it's not just the pickups. No matter what mic you put on Barbra Streisand, she's not going to sound like Paul Rodgers. All right, so you have to have the microphone, which is the pickup, right? And you have the acoustic sound to sound big and thick. So these tuning pegs we've done everything to get them. Look, everybody knows if you put a set of Grovers on old Les Paul, the price goes down by $100,000. Well, why? Because the tone of the guitar changes. But if you put a 5-way on an old Strat, it doesn't make any difference. So nobody cares, right?
Right.
So people care about tone differences. Same thing with the way the bone nuts are, the same thing with the way the bridge is, the same this and that. And so you had to get the acoustic tone right, you got to get the wood drying right, and then you got to get the pickups and all the other parts right, including the pot values. There's a 500K pot generally in a Gibson guitar, and there's generally a 250K pot in a Fender guitar, but that's not what was in John's guitar. God, it took a long time to get it to the point where it sounded that good plugged in, and I didn't do a whole bunch of tweaking. That's what just came right off the line. That came right off the line, and you're playing it, and you're going, oh my God, I like this guitar.
Sounds good.
Well, so you know something? Why? Because every single box is checked, but the one that was the hardest to check was how in God's name did that 63 pickup that you buy on the internet sound so much better than if you did exactly the same thing the way the whole world says to do it. I mean, it's incredibly well researched. What kind of magnet material,
Right.
what kind of wire, what kind of coating, how thick's the coating, how many turns is it, how to go back and forth. Me. Guess what? You can do it all. It don't sound the same.
Right.
But that does.
So what's the secret? Was chewing gum involved? Because it's so squishy in the neck. But that bridgy thing, or the grainy bridge pickup thing.
Even the middle pickup sounds good. Try it.
It does. Yes, it does.
Good guitar player. So maybe it might have something to do with your hands too.
Well, I'll tell you what, as you were pointing out, when you get a Strat or
Wow.
ish,
Wow.
a three pickup instrument.
I do not want you to erase that. You leave that in. I didn't say it. Go on. When you have a 3 pickup 50s, 60s guitar, then what?
Well, you know what? It's so hard to get the middle pickup to sound good with the bridge and the neck. You always got to, and then
Those are the
still.
same pickups.
That's crazy. Sounds glorious.
By the way, in a 63 old guitar, same pickups. You know, it's not so easy. It took so long to figure it out. It was painful. And look, I'll tell you the story. I'm on stage. I've never told this story on film, so it'll be good for you guys, right? I'm on stage at the MCI Center, Verizon Center in D.C., and John Mayer's band's there. And I had the prototype, and it had the same turns and the same wires, same magneses, all this. And he plugs in our guitar, because it's kind of bright. And he plugs in his old guitar, and it had 6 dB more bass and 6 dB less high end, and it was about 3 dB louder. And I'm like, what? And he goes, I could turn the tone control down, but I really don't want to.
Right.
And I was like, and the bass was the thing that was missing. And I was like, I didn't understand. I said, listen, John, unless I can take this guitar home and measure it on my equipment for measuring pickups, I won't be able to do what you want. He says, I can do without the guitar for 1 day. So he puts it in a gig bag, and Renee Martinez is looking at me like, you're going to die. Because that's the one piece of gear they're using for the tour. Right. He can get away with that without one night. So I put it in the gig bag, I take it, throw it in the back of the Prius, and I tell my wife, don't get rear-ended. Go home and do the sacrilegious thing. I took the pickup out of the guitar, unsoldered it out of the thing, had never been unsoldered, and put it up on the machine, and my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I was on the phone with every electrical engineer I knew the next day trying to figure out what in the hell I was looking at. It had 6 dB more bass and 6 dB less high end, and it was resonating. It was a beautiful note. I was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? I put it back in the guitar, and I had 1 day to do 3 weeks worth of work. And I got this one guy on the phone explaining to me what he thought was going on, this engineer. And I did it, and we got there, and I put the guitar back, and I sent him the guitar back. He had it at the, missed one show because the next night's show was the day I did it, and then the next night's show he had to get it. So, you know, overnight. Federal Express is a very cool thing, right? So is UPS overnight. And that was fascinating. What I learned that day started me on a whole road. All this TCI stuff that we're doing, all benefits from what we learned there. Is there a TCI one here? Maybe we'll find one in a second. But I can't tell you how beautiful it is. Now, it turns out the wire that Fender used was made by the same guy that made the wire for Gibson, and the grandson's still alive, and he's my friend. So there's a lot to know. It's not so simple. What happens if there's a teeny little difference? If there's 5,000 turns, which is more on a Strat pickup, it's multiplying the differences times 5,000. I mean, it's this great exaggerator. A little teeny difference make this monstrous difference, right? And we got it. And then we lost it. And we got it again. Then we lost it. And we got it again. And I'm really happy with what you're hearing. But it took a long time to figure out because it couldn't be. Look, the physics in 1963 are the same as the physics in it wasn't aged. The Wind Cries Mary sounds gorgeous.
Right.
It was a brand new guitar.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, to me, it was possible to do. And I adore that he forced me to do that because it taught me so much about how to make humbuckers, so much how to make other single coils, all this stuff. Man, it is a very, very sensitive equation.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
We used to check every single one for 2 years. And now we don't have to anymore. We finally got it so it's consistent. But we had the same problems that Fender and Gibson had in the 50s. Every single one was different.
I believe it.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh, it's fantastic. And this year is the first it's been offered with the maple board.
Yeah.
I dig.
Sold a lot of them.
Very cool.
Are the people that are filming this video, are you guys getting good response from Silver Skies in your store? Good. So they're saying absolutely, so that's good. Well, I'm glad you like it.
I do, very much so. It's beautiful.
That's one of the flip-flop ones, the color.
Glad I got a chance to actually plug one in and play it without being barraged.
Hey, look, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
I like it. And what is this little amp we're playing through? This sounds good too.
It's called a Sanzera 20. It's absolutely, it does two things. It sounds like a really good old deluxe, and you can make that thing sound like a Dumble, which is really cool too.
Awesome. This is a Sewell product?
Yeah. Look, Doug's gifted.
He is, absolutely.
When you have an amp that's not working right, he gets out a chopstick and goes right there. He literally has a visceral sense of amplifiers. It's frightening, actually.
He's a good man.
He's a good man.
We hung out with him. He was out at Wildwood back in the day. Shot some vids with him. He's a good man. Anything else this year that you would like to discuss as far as
the revamp of the McCarty?
Yeah.
We changed the McCartys without changing the models. The finish is now, and the factory switched over to nitro. The tuning pegs are different. The nut is different. The pickups are different. The bridge is different. There's so many things that we updated. And the play, for me, are the single cup 594s, the 594s, and the regular McCartys. Of all of them, the one that everybody keeps gravitating to when they get these new guitars in are the McCartys. Now, the treble pickup's the same pickup. Turn it on. In-between position. I'm sorry, that's a good sounding guitar, isn't it?
Sounds really good.
Play the bass pickup up high in solos. You have to turn it all the way up to make it. You almost played a Janis Joplin tune. You know what tune I'm talking about?
No. Not that one?
You would use. Listen, right off the line, that thing's a steal. That's the play. In my mind, of all the things we've done, we've got the S2 594s and all this other stuff. The regular McCartys, oh my God,
Sounds beautiful.
Nobody's not liking that one. And that's that new nitro paint that I was talking to you about.
Gotcha. It sounds magnificent. This little combination is magnificent.
Maybe it's time for you to convert.
Wow.
Maybe finally it's time. I'm sorry, that sounds good in your hands.
Oh, it's a good sounding axe. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it.
I don't hear the word axe anymore. I like that. In my world, I got to ask you a question, but all right. We did a good job, right?
Absolutely.
All right, good. You know, it's always entertaining with you.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Always entertaining.
Thanks for spending some time with us.
I'm going to take this thing off, and I'm going to go back to my booth and.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. He came in like a breeze of savagery. Paul Reed Smith, ladies and gentlemen, for Wildwood. NAMM 2003 is walking away. Thank you, Paul. We'll see you later. We're still here. Paul Reed Smith, he just walked out. He just got so excited. He had to go out and get a soft drink. But we're still here. We'll see you cats later.